Hello, my lovely artists. Today we are going to be drawing a rocket ship. The point of this project is to practice with our shading, but we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. Now, the first step I want you to do is take your paper and fold the long end to the long end, hot dog style. I'm pressing down that crease so that when I open it back up, I can see that crease clearly. That's what I wanted, a nice guideline to use. We're going to be drawing our rocket ship along this line. We want this to be the middle point of our rocket ship. So, I'm going to start with the body of the rocket. Now, I want it to take up most of the paper, so I'm going to make a dot, like maybe 3 fingers from the top of my paper. If your paper is a different size from mine, then you figure out how to use the space on your paper best. But what we're avoiding is having a super teeny tiny rocket that's way off in the distance. We want it nice and big so we can put details and cool stuff on it. Okay, I'm also going to put 3 fingers from the bottom of my paper, make another dot on that crease, and that's how tall I want my rocket ship to be. Okay, so a little bit above this dot, I'm going to make a line that is horizontal, and it crosses across my middle line here. This is going to be the bottom, and now I want to connect the edges of this line to this point way up at the top, and I'm going to do that with a curve. So I'm going to curve out and back in till I hit that point. If you didn't quite get that, I'm going to do it on the other side. Curve out and back in. If it's not perfectly symmetrical, that's okay. Just do your best. Remember, you can always pause the video and use the eraser on your pencil to correct any mistakes. All right, so now we have the body of our rocket ship. That was probably the hardest part of our drawing. Now let's add the booster, the part that drives it forward. So I'm going to draw a short line right here, a short line right here, and connect them for a rectangle. Now off that rectangle, I'm going to draw the flames coming out of it. I don't really need that guide dot anymore because I know my flames are going to go past it. So I know I'm using my space well. So for the flames, I'm going to make a bump here and a bump here. It's going to look kind of like a flower petal or a teardrop shape. Mine didn't quite match up, so I'm going back to fix that mistake. There we go. And I'm going to do another layer with that same shape right in here. This will separate the different colors of the flames. Okay. Now, I think our rocket is going to go all over the place unless we give it some wings to help stabilize it. So I'm going to make mine shaped like parallelograms, which is kind of like a slanted rectangle. If you want to make your wings curved, you could totally do that. It is up to you, my friends. Ooh, that ended up a lot longer than I was thinking, but you know what? I think I like it. It looks cool. Now the trick is making it look the same on the other side. So when I'm drawing the other wing, I'm glancing over at the one I already drew to make sure the angle is pretty close, and I'm starting it out at the same spot that I started the last one. Okay, and then a straight vertical line. Okay, that's not perfect, but you know, nothing's perfect. I like how that looks. That looks cool to me. If yours is different from mine, that is A-okay. I love it when our drawings turn out a little unique and different from each other's. Okay, so now our rocket is pretty stable, but it looks kind of boring. So why don't we add a circle for a window so that whoever's driving this cool spaceship can look out and see the galaxy. Okay. I'm also going to add a curve up here at the top and a straight line down here. Those are kind of optional steps. It's just to give the rocket some cool details. Now, if you wanted to add some more details than that, you totally could. Like, I might add some little screws, like they're holding the rocket together. Maybe you want to add somebody in the window like they're looking out. Maybe I'll put a cat in my window. Space cat. Yeah, cool. Okay. You're welcome to add more details than this if you want. However, we're going to move on. So, in the background, we want a sun, but we're going to put it in a specific spot, my friends. I want us all to have our suns right on this side, and you'll find out why later. Remember I said that we're going to practice our shading with this project. So my sun is going to go right about here. Okay. Now we can add more to the background later, but now that we have our sun, we know where our light is coming from. Now, shadows in real life usually stay on the opposite side of whatever object you're looking at from the sun. So if my light is over here, my shadows are going to be on this side, away from the sun. So I'm going to take my pencil, and on this side, I'm going to add some shading. I'm going a lot lighter with my pencil than I was when I was making my lines. I'm just going back and forth in little strokes. Around the rocket. And if you want to blend it out a little bit more, you can. Or it gets a little bit lighter the further away from that edge you got. That might make your rocket look a little bit more rounded. Just remember to keep those shadows on the opposite side from the sun. All right. I think that looks pretty cool. I'm also going to shade in this wing on the rocket. to shade in that whole thing. There we go. And on the bottom here, let's not forget the rocket booster. This is going to need a shadow too. Okay. Now, it might look nice and smooth from where my phone is right now doing the recording. But if I zoom in, you're going to see that it's actually a little bit rough. So, if you want to take a tissue or your finger, you can smudge that out. So that it's a little bit smoother. Now if you use a tissue to do this, that might be best. I don't have one on me right now, so I'm just using my finger. If you use your finger, you're probably going to have to wash it, because look at that. I've got pencil lead on my finger now. But this is a technique a lot of young artists use to get a smooth, smeary shadow that looks super cool on their rocket. Okay. All right, so now that we've practiced our shading and we've added some details on the rocket, you can customize your artwork to look more like how you want it to look. So if you want to add some planets or stars in the background, maybe a whole nother ship, that's up to you. You make your art how you want it to be. All right, and I am finished. I customized my background. I added some more shading and details on the rocket. I hope you enjoyed drawing this with me today, and I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye, my lovely artists.